Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion, and by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Autoline Daily. Now, let's get to the news. And we start off with what looks like very good news. Sales of new cars in Europe rose for the third month in a row, which is the longest period of growth in the last 4 years. Registrations in November increased nearly 1% over last year to almost 1 million vehicles, as demand for vehicles from Volkswagen and Renault shot up. Here's my Autoline insight. While sales are still woefully weak, this 3-month running average suggests that the European car market has finally bottomed out and will slowly start to grow again. Meanwhile, in North America, automakers are straining to meet demand. But rather than build new bricks and mortar, they're modernizing existing plants and breaking bottlenecks with new equipment. General Motors just announced it will invest nearly $1.3 billion in plant upgrades. The money will be spread across 5 manufacturing sites in the United States, and they'll make a new V6 engine, a new 10-speed transmission, and an existing 6-speed automatic. And speaking of GM, it looks like the company will start paying a dividend to shareholders. GM shares are up 44% so far this year, and that dividend could drive those prices even higher. Slowly but surely, Chinese companies are buying their way into world-class automotive technology. The latest is the Zhuzhou Times New Materials Technology Company, a state-controlled corporation which just bought the global rubber and plastics unit of ZF, the German transmission company, for nearly $400 million. This is a growing trend. Did you know that the patents and manufacturing rights for magnetorheological dampers with the trade name MagneRide is now part of a Chinese company called Beijing West Industries? Yep, same technology that's on the new Vet. That's one of the fallouts from the bankruptcy at the supplier company Delphi, which developed MagneRide. The Chinese know that the fastest way to get the best technology is simply to go out and buy it. Speaking of technology, we've told you all about the Infiniti Q50's steer-by-wire system, but like most new technology, there's usually some glitches that need to be fixed once it's out in the real world. That's why the company is recalling Q50s with the system. Turns out, in freezing weather, the power steering software may disable the steer-by-wire system and may also delay the engagement of the mechanical steering backup system. The recall involves very few cars, but Infiniti is telling customers to not drive their Q50s until it's fixed, and they better have it towed to the nearest dealer to receive a software update. Last week, we asked you to take a look at the finalists for the North American Car and Truck of the Year Awards and vote on which ones you thought should be the winners. On the car side, the Chevrolet Corvette is your runaway winner, with 53% of you choosing it for Car of the Year. The Cadillac CTS got 30% of your votes, and the Mazda 3 got 17%. On the truck side, it's not quite the runaway, but 47% of you chose the Chevrolet Silverado as the North American Truck of the Year, followed by 43% of you choosing the Jeep Cherokee. Only 9% of you chose the Acura MDX. Last year, we asked you to vote on the finalists, and you nailed it. This time around, the actual winners will be announced on the morning of January 13th at the Detroit Auto Show, and I can't wait to see if the Autoline audience got it right again. Coming up next, I want to introduce you to the next member of my blue ribbon panel for choosing the most outstanding executive in the global automotive industry.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. dowbetamate.com.
Last week, I introduced you to the executives who made our shortlist for the first annual Autoline Executive of the Year. That list includes Akio Toyota, Tom Dahl from Subaru, Martin Winterkorn from Volkswagen, Alan Mulally from Ford, and Mark Royce from General Motors. Yesterday, I told you how Wall Street analyst Marianne Keller is on the blue ribbon panel to choose which one of those executives stands out above the others. Today, I want to talk about Dr. David Cole. I first met Dave in the early 1980s when he was the director of the Office for the Study of Automotive Transportation at the University of Michigan's Transportation Research Institute. He was also a professor at the university, and I was always amazed to meet so many people in the industry who had him as a professor. But Dave went on to become the founder and the CEO of the Center for Automotive Research, one of the best-known think tanks that does all kinds of reports and analyses about the industry. More recently, he helped create an organization called AutoHarvest, an online database that allows automotive companies to market the patents and intellectual property that they're not using and which would otherwise be gathering dust on a shelf, or whatever the electronic equivalent of that is. Dave is also the son of former GM president Ed Cole, whose many accomplishments include developing the '55 Chevy. The point being that Dave Cole grew up in an automotive household, so it should come as no surprise that he's one of the best connected and knowledgeable people in the automotive industry, and that's why I wanted him on the blue ribbon panel to choose the Autoline Executive of the Year. On Friday, I'll reveal who we chose for that award, but that brings us to the end of today's report. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.